Listen to me, motherfucker. I'm talking. I say horrible things sometimes because I think they're funny. My podcast is a verbal mosh pit because it's just me pinwheeling around. You don't know where the fuck I'm going to wind up, and I generally have no idea when it's going to end or start. I'm responsible for this whole goddamn thing. I want a little respect from you people. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. I refuse to talk unless my nose gets touched. I do that in private conversations too, by the way. Have you ever seen me in a bar come up and touch my nose? And we'll talk. We'll talk for a while. Yeah. I say that safely, knowing that I will never be in a bar, so no one will ever be able to do it. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she's like, she's been going out to bars, and I'm like, I haven't been to a bar in forever. Like, last time I went to a bar, I was a million years ago when Karen left me. By a million, I mean yesterday. That's a long story I'll get to in a minute. No, I'm teasing. I made friends with these guys. I had to work at a website, like a sports-related website, and I made friends with some of the guys there, the IT guys and stuff. They were cool guys. So one night we all went out, and this is after Karen and I started redating, and we all went out and we went to the bar called the Powerhouse down in Hollywood. You know where that is? Yeah. It's on Sunset and Highland. I think it's right around the corner here. Yeah. And it is, dude. Look, I don't pretend to know what bars are about. When I'm in them, usually I'm thinking about how I'm going to fail in front of the people that are sitting there. Usually when I'm in a bar, it's me sitting there gripping, going, fuck, I'm going to chew it in front of these people. But when I was at the Powerhouse, I was there to ostensibly relax. And I don't know how you can relax in a fucking room with one light bulb and 30 people holding beers. I mean, there's just this air of danger in there, which I like usually. I'm a fan of chaos. I mean, I like thinking that anything could happen at any time. But what I don't like thinking is that some, fucking wallaby could climb up my leg because I can't see it in the dark. I like to have my lights up a little higher so I can look for any oncoming wildlife. And because especially in a bar that's on Sunset and Highland, I mean, come on, that thing's been there fucking forever. You walk in and the place smells like Montgomery Clift vomit. Because it's been around, it's one of those legendary things, and it's like, oh, you remember the time when we were here and Sid Charisse came in and blew 4 guys? It's like, yeah, I remember that. What? You don't think Sid Charisse had to that? I don't even know if Sid Charisse is a man or a lady. I seriously, I know it's CYD, but I couldn't tell you what she was or what she looked like. I don't know anything about it. Isn't that? I think actually the Powerhouse Bar is where Clara Bow fucked the entire USC football team. Isn't that where it was? Including a young Marion Morrison who was in line. And wound up with his cock covered in the cum of his offensive line teammates and went on to become John Wayne. That's right. That's who Marion Morrison is. And Clara Bow's fucking vagina was just a crazy mixing bowl full of the cum of the USC offensive line. All right, folks. Hey, we're off to a rip-roaring start today. That's actually why they called the bar the Power Team, because that's who USC was when they showed up, or the Powerhouse. I apologize. That joke was invalidated within seconds. That's how bad it is. When you're walking the tightrope, folks, that's how bad you have to think. You have to really concentrate, because otherwise you wind up invalidating jokes, which is not good at all for anybody. And that's, trust me, I do that quite often, invalidate jokes. My own jokes. I don't invalidate others' jokes. Please feel free to throw your jokes at me, folks, and I will smile and nod and shake your hand, and then you can tell me I can use it in my little skit. All right. Hi, folks. How are you? I will tell you this show, there is no overwhelming theme. There is no overriding. Like last week, the 2.5-hour opus that is still being chatted about in podcast circles, we wound up talking about our friend Quentin Tarantino and the Inglourious Burlesque show, which is still the hot talk of the internet from what I understand. Yes. It's been mentioned on other shows, and people are twittering it and sending notes about it, which is great. Good for them. And then the week before that, of course, we talked about San Francisco, which is in the distant past, and now I need to do the show somewhere else so I have something to talk about, basically. And I appreciate all the feedback I'm getting from people, I do appreciate the feedback because I ask for it, and but I get that same thing where I read stuff and I get my hackles up and I get all pissed off. It was like I did it to you, even. You know what I mean? When people tell me shit, and I just go, "Whoa, just tell me I'm great. Shut up." Which is never good. That's not good for discourse or back and forth. Nobody wants to do anything like that. It actually, if anything, it ends back and forth. Because someone says, you're great, I say, thank you, done. No more back, no more forth. We can all agree that I'm a fucking genius. Done. But now, with no theme, it'll be a lot of running in place here, folks. A lot of trying to find out where we're going to go and what we're going to talk about. Because I didn't do anything this past week. It was Labor Day, and I took I took it off. I figured I had brought enough podcasting magic to you folks the last 2 weeks that I'm like, they can afford me a clunker week, right? This will be the clunker week. You folks know that. You guys are like, oh yeah, we're on board with the clunker week. We'll listen partially through it, and then we'll just turn it off and pretend that we listened and write you a note saying how much we liked it. And I'll go, great. Because again, that's all I need, folks. I don't need a back and forth. I don't need you to give me a qualitative statement about how you felt about the podcast that particular week. All you got to do is say it was great, and I'll say thank you. And by the way, I am way behind in saying thank you. Just so... If you folks have sent me an email, I'm caught up on Twitter, all right? I made sure to do that even though I had like a fucking 100 or whatever of those. But I am behind on Facebook. I am behind on my Facebook wall. And I'm behind in regular emails. But the next 3 days, I am hunkering down. I think I may have said this last week, possibly. But things come up. I mean, I like I said, Tarantino came up, and then this past week I had to do something too that I can get to in the next few weeks. I was in the mix on a gig that I didn't get. I can tell you that, folks. This happened a couple weeks ago. I thought there was going to be something really cool, and I thought, let's put it this way. I got a call about a gig, and I'm like, dude, I've never seen that show, but I think I can do this. So I had to watch the show, and then when I watched it, all right, well, I'll just tell you. Stupid. Why would I tell an anecdote and not even say what the show is? Stupid.
No, please do.
I'm an idiot. I got a call to write for the Chelsea Handler show, possibly. So I'm like, oh, dude, because it just got picked up for like 3 years or something. I mean, you're not going to find a much more stable job in show business because apparently America loves Chelsea Handler and gay people yelling. I mean, they are all over it. That's their thing. America loves Chelsea Handler, and America loves gay people yelling, and America loves Mexican midgets. That's it. Done. And you combine the three of them, forget about it. That show's going to be on longer than fucking Gunsmoke. Holy God. Like Chelsea Handler will start to look like Joan Rivers eventually, and she'll still have a goddamn show. And although I told you, she looks a little like Joan Rivers now. She looks like Joan Rivers Jr. But Melissa looks at her and stamps her foot and is angry. And of course her face does not move because Melissa also, chewing Botox like it's chiclets. All right. Yeah, I'm not a fan. So, I'm a fan of Joan, but Melissa's just, I actually, one of the jokes I wrote for Cheap Seats once was we had to write it was about a ski. Steve Garvey had a ski. For some reason, they had a show where it was Steve Garvey's ski lodge show, and it was an actual celebrity ski race with actual skiers, but also Steve Garvey. And then they said, "Hey, well, let's go to the lodge," and they showed the party at night. And I'm never gonna remember the joke, but you saw Gil Gerard talking to Joan Rivers, and. And I said, and Joan was at far camera right. And I said, they actually had to position it that way so you didn't see Melissa, crouched on her back looking for, I forget what the fuck it was, but it was a really funny joke. I should just bring, and someday I'll just bring in the Cheap Seat scripts I wrote and I'll just read them on the fucking show. I'll just be like, hey, here's all the jokes you didn't, because again, the way they did it was the writers for Cheap Seats would I don't know how many they had a ton as far as I know, and we would all get an episode and we would write joke from beginning to end and then send it to the guys, and then the Sklar's would funnel it all together and they would take the best of the best and use it in the show, which is the smart way to do it. Then you get the fucking best of fucking 15 dudes. But then I'd have a whole script of shit that didn't get used or whatever, and they might use one joke or two jokes out of it, and then I'd look at the script, I'd be like, oh god damn it, I thought that was great. Because again, folks, I think every word is a pearl. I'm that guy who, even when I talk to Mex and people about editing the one man, even in the car with Lily, look, and Lily, I love Lily. Lily Bunched Up's here. She's our producer. We were talking about the one man, and Lily is very encouraging, and she sees it as her job, and I will tell you this. She actually told me this. I might have mentioned this during the one man episode. I should also tell you that, folks. As behind as I am in responding to people, that's how far behind I am in listening to the show. I have not listened now to a month worth of shows. So if I repeat what if I repeated the entire thing about Tarantino? What if I did that? I was that clueless about it. I'm like, folks, guess what happened, idiot. But I haven't even listened. The last one I listened to was Armed with a Shrug. I haven't listened to From the Juggalos on. I haven't listened to any of it. Juggalos, da-da-da-da. See, the thing is, I have to, all right, I know I have to listen to those shows eventually because otherwise I do what I just did. I just did an anecdote about a pro wrestler working at the Juggalos thing, and I said, wait a minute, I already said that, right? And Lily said yes, and I said, let's stop and cut it out. She goes, no, it's funny. Leave it in there because it tells people that you realize that you didn't listen to the fucking show. And I go, no, cut it out. And then I talk about it because I'm not comfortable. You know why? Because I feel for some reason that people know. It's cheating. I want people to know. It's not, because it's like when I did Never Not Funny, we didn't edit. I mean, that was the whole deal, is they don't edit the show. That's their deal. It's a one-take Jake. Well, I wish I could do that with this fucking show. I wish there was a way I could do it, but...
You do, for the most part.
Yeah, some shows are better than others. You know what I mean? Like last week, Tarantino was almost like a one take. You know, because I lived it and I was so into it. But when I'm looking for traction and stuff, like in the ramp up, folks, in Act 1, as we've all talked about, in the jerky chewing section of the podcast, sometimes I'm looking for traction and sometimes I wind up having to stop. That was just the case now, where I talked about Dutch Mantel, the pro wrestler who wound up working the Gathering of the Juggalos. Yes, I know we just cut it out, but I still mentioned it anyway because I'm stupid. Because I feel like I'm cheating. Folks, I'm a fucking mess, as we know. Because I think it's cheating to stop and then not tell people that I stopped. Just like I feel it's cheating to tell a story a second time, which is keeping me from being famous or being interesting in any way. You know what I mean? And it's going to eventually leave me dead. I'm just going to be this fucking dried out husk going, and then I went to the store once. Oh, Christ. You know, like I have nothing to talk about. I'm going to have to be generating shit to talk about. Okay, good. Here's the reason I can't listen to the 4 shows. Or I can. I know I have to. Okay? I have to listen to them because I have to write the liner notes for them. Which, by the way, as far as you know, I do every week. I go home diligently from this, and I write the liner notes right away for the episode. Sure I have. For year 3, which will eventually come out. Which actually comes out this week. Folks, I don't know if year 3 is available. We should just do that. Let's offer the first 24 episodes of year 3. I sold the Gaijin this week, by the way. Yeah, that's right. Always nice when I sell that. To Sean Bacon, was it? I'm going to use his name. Why not? I don't know if that was his name. I remember his name was Bacon, I think. Huh?
He's got like less than 1 degree away then. If he's a bacon.
Oh, sure. Yeah, he's literally. I sold the, and now I'm less than 1 degree away. I sold a super angry Gaijin happy good time yelling hour combo. I just chili dipped the fucking name. I sold it to Sean Bacon, or to Seth Bacon, who is, of course, related to Kevin Bacon. So there you go. I'm now connected via the 6 degrees. Although you can 6 degrees me. It's funny when you do Goebel's show, I do Paul's show, and he does the 6 degrees of Winkler, and he connects people to Winkler. I think I can be connected to Kevin Bacon, probably. I did a Coors commercial with David Spade, who was in, what the fuck, Just Shoot Me with Laura San Giacomo, who was in Sex, Lies, and Videotape with James Spader, who was in Less Than Zero with Jamie Gertz, who was in, why did I say Jamie Gertz? That kills me. Who was in Teachers with Nick Nolte, who was in Tropic Thunder with Robert Downey Jr., who was in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Val Kilmer, who was in Batman Returns with Jim Carrey, who was in Ace Ventura with Tone Loc, who was in Heat with Al Pacino, who was in The Godfather with Robert Duvall, who was in Down Low with Bill Murray, who was in Rushmore with Jason Schwartzman, who was in Bored to Death with Zach Galifianakis, who was in The Hangover with Bradley Cooper, who was in Wedding Crashers with Vince Vaughn, who was in Swingers with Jon Favreau, who was in Friends with Matthew Perry, who was in The Whole Nine Yards with Bruce Willis, who was in Die Hard 3 with Samuel L. Jackson, who was in Pulp Fiction with John Travolta, who was in Face Off with Nicolas Cage, who was in The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Jay Baruchel, who was in Knocked Up with Seth Rogen, who was in Funny People with Adam Sandler, who was in Anger Management with Jack Nicholson, who was in A Fucking Few Good Men with Kevin goddamn Bacon. Yeah! That's right. I fucking got there, baby. I don't even know how many degrees that was.
Oh my God.
What is that? That's got to be 1,000. How far am I? I'm literally, that's 1,000,000 degrees from Kevin Bacon. But I got there. I can see Kevin. Literally, if we were at a mall, I would be on one end of it, and all the way at the end, I would just see Kevin Bacon waving his hand. Hello. You'll get here eventually. Just kind of, you got to chain your way through here. That wasn't even like, that was like That was that chain of the atom, or like the DNA structure when they, the human genome. That's all it was. It was like this weird connective thing, and then boom, there you go. It's me and Bacon. God damn it. And the funny thing is, I'm sure Spade was in something with Bacon. Like literally, I didn't need to go that far, but I kept, because in my head I kept just talking, and I'm trying to connect it. Wow! But I fucking got there. God damn it! All right, folks, and we wonder why the show is 2 hours every week. We wonder why the fuck the show is that. Yeah, you don't wonder. I wonder. Fuck, what happened? What did I do? Well, you talked about Walter Payton for fucking 40 minutes. Oh, I see. A dead running back that nobody cares about? Yeah, I talked about him forever. Goddamn childhood memories. All right, so what was I talking about before I went on the rampage, the Bacon rampage?
I was being nice to you in the car about the one man. The last thing I remember.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because you're nice. Well, I was saying why I don't listen to the shows. Why I can't. That's why. Because you know why? Because it just seems like indulgent, like weird. Because I would make myself listen every week because I had to figure out what I hadn't talked about. But now to sit down and have to, because again, the last 4 shows have been like 2 hours at $1.40, $1.30.
You don't have enough time to listen to yourself.
No, I don't. I would have to sit down, and it would take, especially between listening to other shows or things like that. I mean, to hear me over and over. And look, I love me. Let's not get it twisted at all. I fucking love listening to me. I think I'm a fucking genius. Although I haven't listened to Cynical Challenge yet. Eventually I will. But I have not listened to the shows because that just seems indulgent. Then it's like I got to sit down with 9 hours of me. That seems fucking crazy. I mean, to listen to one is one thing because I got to keep track of what I said and what I talked about and what I didn't and things like that. But dude, fucking 9 hours in a row of me? Holy God. I don't know how you people do it. I mean, Jesus Christ. I like me, but I don't know if I like me that much that I got to listen to me in a row. I talking to Mex, and thank God Mex is there. Mex is like my, he's my human library of me. He's the curator of the Mike Schmidt archives because he just listens to the show. He told me, he goes, sometimes I'll just be in the car and I'll pop it in and not just to hear stuff. And he made me laugh because I was talking about the one man, and he's like, dude, do you want feedback on the one man? I go, yeah, from you especially. I said, because it's like Dave in New York, Lily, and Mex are the people who give me feedback that that are helping me shape the show. Now, folks, you are also giving me feedback, and you're helping me shape the show, but I'm saying the people I turn to are these people. But Lily, I love, and Lily has had jobs before where she essentially is a cheerleader. And she's, look, when we went to L.A. or to San Francisco, she was my bulldozer. I think I talked about that, where she basically took care of everything. I'm waiting for a cab and freaking out that we're not going to get there on time. She's like, everything's fine. Calm down. I'll get us this cab. We're going to be fine. And I'm like, okay, I get it. All right, fine. I'm just trying to stay out of my own head, and she's holding my hand and making sure I don't climb into my head. You know what I mean? Like, literally, I'm inside my skull, but she's got my arm. She's gripped it, and she's like, you are not closing the top of this fucking skull behind you. Get out. And so she's there to do that. But also when she does that, look, Lily loves what I do. She thinks I'm hilarious, as you can hear. She, I would say 2/3 of it is real, 1/3 of it is she's helping the show, which is fine. And she'll dispute that and argue on that, whatever. Because believe me, it could be the opposite of that or worse. But in reality, she's very nice and very encouraging. When we were talking about the one man and we were figuring out what to cut. So, because 2.5 hours is it's a bit much for anybody. I don't even want to spend 2.5 hours with me. So, but everybody was very nice when they came, and they indulged me, and it went well. So now I have to pare it down. Now comes the work. All right, now comes the hard part of. I might even have to rename the show. I might have to rebrand it, retheme it. I might have to add stories, take stories out. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but I know I need a director, and I know I need somebody to help me and focus me in the right direction. Lily can do a lot of that, but then also when it comes time to editing the show, I'm like, well, what if I took this out? She's like, no, you need that for this. And I'm like, what about this? She goes, no, you need that for this. And I'm like, all right, well, then maybe I should take this out. She goes, no, you really need that because it kind of qualifies this. And then I go, all right, well, then I have nothing left. Everything stays in according to you. And as much as I wish that was true, because I'm with her, I want to leave it all in. I want to add more. I want to make the show 3.5 hours long. Because I'll tell you, when I did the fucking one man, like I was planning it out, all of a sudden I started to get this grandiose idea of like, hey, I could do a different one of these every month about different topics. All of a sudden I'm that guy. And that's not good or smart. So what I need to do is figure out how to edit it and what to do. So, Mex is a guy who will tell me, he's like, dude, you should take this or move this or do that kind of thing. And Dave also gave me a lot of feedback. But Lily is, when I go to her for feedback, she's very encouraging, and I don't need that. I need somebody to fucking slap me in the head and go, dude, shut up. Which she can't do, again, because her job is to bring me out of myself. You know what I mean? And she's done that at other jobs too. When she worked in radio and she worked with people and stuff like that, she was someone who was a cheerleader for the people that she worked for because she was the producer. So she would produce a radio show or whatever, and then she would take phone calls, and then she would make sure that everything was working perfectly for that person because she recognizes, as no one else does apparently in this town, that talent needs to be in a headspace or needs to be in a certain frame. And I can't tell you, like, when I did a commercial with David Spade, like I just mentioned, and it was the first commercial I ever did. So there was always this myth floating around that when you did a commercial, all you had to do was get one national commercial and your year was paid for. You were set. Like, if you got one national commercial, that was great because then you were going to always have money coming in, and while you looked for other jobs or did whatever you're going to do. So when I booked this first national commercial and it was with David Spade, I was like, dude, that's it. This is all. And it was so great when I got the message. I auditioned for it, and this was, I think it was only my third audition ever, and I booked it in town. I'll bring my audition notebook someday. That'll be boring listening. I actually, when I first got here, I started to write down every audition and how it went. I started to keep track of it. And believe me, that's some feat for me. And I did it in longhand, like I did it, writing. So someday they will find, and when they unearth my Monticello, they will, they'll pull out some bad notebook and blow the dust off of it and flip it open. And wore a football jersey, but no eye black. You know what I mean? Like this horrible, like note-taking process. So, and then I would actually put in the corner result. Callback, result, nothing, result, never heard. And then, but the third one ever, I think it was with Spade, result booked. And it was, crazy asterisks and yay and hearts. Yay! And when I got word of it, it was, I was in a line, I was on Magnolia by my house. Oh, that's not good. Did I ever say where that was? Okay, so, yeah, I just gave my address. Hi, folks. I'll look forward to visiting with you. But I was way up Magnolia, way far away from my house. Again, shut up. But I was I was in Taco Bell, and I was in line at Taco Bell, and my pager went off. That's how long ago this was. And it had had my agent's phone number with a 911, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. So I had to get, I'm in the drive-thru Taco Bell. There's people behind me and in front of me, so I can't quite escape. So I have to get my food, and I drive over. There was a dairy, what's the word? When you go to a Hostess store, and it's a second-day store, but it's outlet store or whatever. Kind of like that, like it's a dairy, Altadena dairy, but they sold milk, not day old milk. How awful would that be? Look, they sold week old milk at the store. But they called it cottage cheese. All right, so I go there, and again, this will give you an idea of how old it is. I had to go use the payphone in their parking lot, so I got my tacos at Taco Bell, and I drove over to this payphone, and I remember this is what I did, folks, because I thought it looked cool. I'm such an idiot. I pulled into the lot, and I pulled my car up to the payphone and reached out. And instead of getting out and using the payphone, I drove up to it and like it was like you're in a drive-through ordering hamburgers or something. I actually pulled my car up to the phone and leaned out because I thought I was in a 70s cop movie. So I'm like, all right, I head on a swivel. I'm waiting to see if some junkie's gonna happen by, and I lean out and I ding 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 ding, and I got to put fucking 75 cents or whatever in the goddamn phone, and then I took the call in my car, like I pretended like I was somebody important, and I called my agent and they're like, hey, you booked that commercial? I'm oh no way. And then they're like, yeah, it's a national with David Spade. And I'm like, dude, it's a Coors commercial. Oh, my God. Dude, and come on, we've all seen TV. We've all seen beer commercials. Holy shit. I mean, they're on all the goddamn time. And from what I understood, I'm to get paid every time it runs. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. So, I mean, it's crazy. I was so excited. And, of course, what do you do to celebrate? You eat a million tacos in a Dairy's parking lot. Went home and told Karen, and I was all excited. I'm like, I booked a national commercial. I was so happy. And because I had quit, Marvel Mania to go ahead and do something, I did basketball and then wound up having to join SAG, and immediately I got this commercial. I mean, it was happening, man. So I wind up going home. I get I find out when they're going to book it, and then you got to go for wardrobe. You got to do all these different things. And when I went to go for wardrobe, did I tell this on here? Did I talk about this? You know what? I told it on Never Not Funny. I talked about it when I was on Never Not Funny. People new to this show, I was on a show called Never Not Funny for a year when other human beings could tolerate being in a room with me. So I went for wardrobe, and the thing was they had cast it was a bunch of different commercials. Okay, David Spade was in a campaign for Coors, and which should have been my first clue about the money and everything. What I'll get to in a second, but he was making several different commercials for Coors, and what it was 21 means 21, like that kind of deal. So when I got cast in the commercial, I was a guy who worked in a convenience store. I was the clerk, a big, like, mean, kind of fat, intimidating clerk. And two young guys came in and they bought beer, and then they came up and I was like, IDs, and they showed it to me, and then whatever. Well, there were other vignettes too. There was one in a bar where someone got carded. There was one at like a ball game, and Spade was in all of them. Well, uh, it turns out one of the vignettes, like I said, is in a bar, and it's a guy, and he's macking on some really hot girl, and then he doesn't have he has to get an ID. I don't know how the fuck it played out. All I know is I walk into the wardrobe fitting, and there's nobody there. I had to go to it's so funny. I get cast in a commercial, and then I have to drive like to Santa Monica for a wardrobe fitting. And in my head, I get this pain, and like, what a pain in the ass. And like, stupid, you're in a commercial. What the fuck is wrong with you? But that's where my head goes. I'm like, really? I got to drive to fucking Santa Monica to do? Oh, Christ. I got that way about auditions, too. Whenever I'd get an audition, I'd be like, I hope it's in the Valley. And then I'd look, and they'd be like, oh, it's in, Long Beach. I'm like, what the fuck? Seriously? Wow, I got to drive all the way out there to do an audition? What? No, dude. You're not lifting fucking heavy furniture. Go do your audition. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. People will find a reason to bitch about anything, folks. And by people, I mean me. So... I show up for the wardrobe fitting, and it's in this, huge wardrobe trailer. You don't realize, look, every television show you've ever seen in your life, all of those clothes belong to the people who ran the show, and they hide them in a factory somewhere until they can use them again. They're like, hey, is there another fat guy who wore a black vest? Bring him in. That kind of deal. But what they need you to do is when you do wardrobe, that's for TV shows, but for commercial, they make you bring your wardrobe so they can tell you what they think you should wear. And at the time, I'm a fat dude, so I live my life in black, man. Black shirts, black. I'm Johnny Fat Cash. That's who I am. I'm like, I'm the man in a lot of black. I'm not just the man in black. So I have to show up. And by the way, walk the line? No, I sat down and someone helped me by pushing me in a wheelchair down the line. Because I was fat and wheezy. So I show up, and I get to this huge wardrobe trailer. I'm carrying my clothes. And I can't find anybody. There's nobody there at this fucking place. And so I walk in, and I can kind of hear voices, but I don't know, because it's huge, man, and it's all clothes. This is like when I did, again, I apologize to go tangential, but this is relevant. I was in the movie Hoffa, okay, with Jack Nicholson. I should tell that story. I've never told that story on here. No. Fuck. All right, you know what? I'll get, all right, that'll be after this story. So, I wind up in this commercial. I show up on the wardrobe set. I can't find anybody. It's this huge, expansive wardrobe. Just like on, should I tie in Hoffa now? God damn it. All right, so, well, it's going to be the same thing, though. Fuck. All right, folks, I apologize. Again, this is why the show is long. So I walk into the wardrobe trailer. I can't find anybody. I can't see anybody. So I'm walking deeper in, wading through fucking petticoats and fucking, duster coats and whatever the fuck they have there, carrying my clothes. I walk in, and I make a left, and I turn right, and I'm following voices kind of, and I'm looking, and I'm walking, and I get deeper into the trailer, and I'm looking through clothes, and I finally walk, and I turn left, and folks, I turn left, and bent over at the waist, I'm behind the hottest ass ever in a thong. I mean, just... I turn around, and she's bent over, and it's like literally, like if I had a hard-on, which I don't know why I would, quite frankly, in the huge fucking wardrobe house. Look, if I was really excited about other people's clothing, folks, and I had a fucking raging hard-on, and I had turned around, I would have just entered her, and we would have locked up like dogs. They would have had to turn the hose on us to get us separated. I mean, it was that kind of thing. I would have, I would have pushed in thong and all. I would have just been right in there, man. And she stood up. Like, I turned around. I just walked in. She's bent over, and I see her ass, and she turns around. She's topless. She has no top on. She's wearing nothing but a thong and and a smile. And not outraged, not freak out. She didn't lose her mind or anything. She just stood up, tits out, thong, and just goes, "Hi, hon." And I went, I'd like to think that I said something like, "Why, hello there. How are you?" But I'm pretty sure all I did was drool on my shoes. I mean, because it was just astonishing because it happened real quick. I saw her ass. I'm like, ass, thong, stand up, tits, and her face. And then the thing is, it came. I go, I know her. Like, I saw her face and I knew her face. And she goes, "Hi, hon." And I go, "Hi." And then the wardrobe lady goes, "Oh, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be in here." Like this little, typical stereotypical wardrobe lady with needles in her mouth, and they were helping this woman. She was cast in one of the other David Spade commercials. She was the hot chick from the bar commercial, but I don't know that then. I just walk in, thong, ass, stand-up tits, gorgeous face. Hi, hun. Ah, dude. Tell me that's not. I still jerk off to it. I'm not gonna lie to you, folks. It's still in my fucking brain. Even it was straight up Phoebe Cates. It was, "Hi, Brad. You know how cute I always thought you were." Gong, gong. Like, because it was just tits out of nowhere. I mean, folks, I'm walking around looking at musty old petticoats, and all of a sudden, boom, thong and tits. Awesome. That doesn't happen to anybody ever, but it happened to me. And I turned around, and I saw her face, and it registered that I knew her face, but she was so beautiful, and her hair blonde. But she looked kind of rough too a little bit. But man, was she fucking hot. And so I just went, and then the wardrobe lady, literally like in a cartoon, she's like, "You get out of here!" They pushed me out the door. "I'll get to you in a minute." And I go, "I'm here for a commercial." And I, heels scraping, digging in. "Can I look at more at the hot girl?" So I get pushed off into timeout, wherever the fuck I am, in a corner somewhere, getting punished. And then the wardrobe lady comes out and literally looks at my black shirt and vest and goes, "Yeah, you're fine." I leave. And but I know the chick. I knew the girl. And granted, I got thong and tits in my face, and that's all I can think of. But her face was so beautiful, and I couldn't figure out who she was. But I knew who she was. And so I go and I film the commercial. Oh, and the whole point of this was that talent doesn't matter, because then when I went to film the commercial, like I said, folks, I'm the talent. Granted, I'm no David Spade, but I'm an integral part. There's only 4 people cast in this commercial. They got to be taking care of us, right? So I show up at the set for the commercial when it's time to film, and they're like, "Hey, your trailer's over there. Just go ahead." It's I go, "Oh, my trailer. Well, fantastic." And did I talk about this? I must have talked about this. I walk over to the thing, and it just says actors on the trailer. And I walk up, and the 2 of the doors are already locked, so I figured that's where the other guys are. And I open my door. And it was a linen closet with a bed that was, I would say, for someone who was 5'7", because when I laid down, I had to put my heels on the wall, like I was in an L shape. And it had a toilet that stunk and a mirror. That was it. And you sit in there all day until they need you. That's it. There's no, because I also was coming from basketball where I was talent, even though I was just, but I was a guy in it, so I saw the other extras have to deal with bagels and bananas. I talked about it. That's all they had were bagels and bananas. They'd come to us with like ribs and steak, and they'd be like, "Who's hungry?" It was this palatial. I was treated like a king, palm fronds and fucking food anytime I wanted it, and relaxing, and it was so great. But on this one, on the Spade one, I'm in this fucking trailer with it smelled like it smelled like piss. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was just like a trailer that smelled like it was filled with piss, and I just sat there in the heat because it was hot out, and I'm waiting to get used in the commercial. And then they called me in, and they, cut. No, everybody's like, "Go get that guy." Like I wasn't Mike, I wasn't talent, I wasn't anybody. And they pound on the door. There's no gentle knocking. There's no, "Here's a mint for you." There's no, you know what I mean? Because you think, again, you get this stereotype. It's going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait. And look, it's completely different from working in a graveyard gig or any other shitty fucking job I've had. I wasn't bouncing. I wasn't getting spit in the face. But it was still a come down from what we thought it was going to be. That was the main thing, is in your brain, you had already established, well, I'm the talent. Once I get a fucking big commercial, it's going to be great. No. I mean, it's just a job. It's a regular job like anything else. Because I'm not an actor in a sitcom. I'm not famous. Nobody knows the fuck I am. I'm step above extra in a commercial like that. And I told you, extras are just like lamps. Extras think that they're actors, but they're not, man. They're just literally your background, and they call you background for a reason. You're in the fucking background, and you're just as important as a goddamn fern. That's who you are. You're a human fern. You're an ambulatory fern. That's all you are. You're an ambulatory fern in a show. And although they want you to just walk in circles and do nothing. God damn it. Quit thinking you're an actor. You're not. You're an extra. So I do. I do the commercial. And I think I told the story in here before where Spade made fun of me, and I can't remember the withering remark, but it was destroying me. And because I thought, again, we're gonna be friends and pals, and no, we weren't. So then I go home, and weeks pass, and then the commercial starts running, and I see it. The first time I ever see it, I'm like, dude, that's fun. Because again, I'm in it for a second, but who cares? I'm in it. I'm in a goddamn commercial. It's running on television, and I get the first money, and the way that works at the time, at least, you got paid for the first 13 weeks. Like they bought you out in weeks, and you got a certain amount of money for 13 weeks, and it could show you got paid for for the first 20 times you made a certain amount, and then from 20 to 41 it was a less amount, and then 41 to whatever it made less and less and less. So and it went on 13-week scale. So you had to know after 13 weeks they could choose not to renew your commercial, and which meant your year was not paid for, folks. I guess is what I'm saying to you. The national commercial myth was shattered for me, as mine ran for a few cycles. But the thing is, I would see it, like I said, I had cable and I had the football package, so I would see it every day. I would see it on different football games and all that stuff. Well, those markets, because they buy the Chicago market, they can show it 100 times in the Chicago market. What you're getting paid for is the Chicago market, not for each showing every time it's on. It's this weird, complicated, convoluted thing. And I still made good money. It still did okay, but not, I thought it was going to be this incredible huge sack of money, and I was going to be able to, burn $100 bills and light cigars and call David Spade, my good friend, and bang this new hot chick, who, I will tell you, as I see the Spade commercials airing, I see the one at the ball game, I see me, I see them periodically, then I see the one with the hot chick at the bar, and I see her in a suit, in clothes. I barely recognize her with her clothes on. And I realize I know who the fuck this is. You know who this was, folks? Bobby fucking Brown. The girl from the cherry pie video. Janie Lane's ex-wife, that's who it was. I saw her bent over in a thong. I right into the I had a, staring right into the eye chart that was her gupper, and then she fucking stood up and turned around, and I got full-on tit shot. I've seen Bobby Brown. I'm like, and a beautiful face, and I knew her face because she's the girl from the cherry pie video. Yeah. I walked in on her in a goddamn thong, baby, and she just went, "Hi, hon." She called me hon. She loves me. She wants me. That's right. I'm sure to this day she thinks that's her. You know what? That was my fantasy. That's her fantasy. She thinks of being because again, I told you, you meet them all on the way down, folks. Eventually, when I'm on my way up, we all know that I'm getting to be very famous. I'm going to meet Bobby Brown somewhere in the middle, and I'll be like, "Hey, you remember me?" And she's going to go, "Of course I do, hon." Bong, bong, bong. I'm her fucking Phoebe Cates. She wants fat guy in a black vest. That's what Bobby Brown wants, because she was busy with junkie Janie Lane for all those fucking years and every other rock star with a huge cock. It's about time she settled, folks. That's right. She wants fat guy with average cock to work her over. Just like she's been dreaming about it forever and ever. And I'm going to wear my black vest, which I still own. And the only reason I still own it is because I know one day I'm going to see Bobby Brown, and she's going to go, "Hey, hon, could you put on that black vest? You know how cute I thought it was." Bonk, bonk, bonk.
You're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. And later, Pap Smear Jamboree. They're not just for Christmas anymore. The Island of Misfit Toys is spreading cheer throughout the year. Why, here come some children now.
Hey, mister, you got Gangster Wagon?
Yes?
What about Round Dice?
Of course.
Do you have Hard On Mountain?
Why not?
My friends want Colorblind Twister.
They're in the car.
Do you have Pooper Mud?
Under the tree.
What about All Pawn Chess?
It's in the mail.
You got Punk-Ass Checkers?
Right in this box.
My mom wants Racist Dominoes.
Look up! That's right, it's the Island of Misfit Toys. The variety never ends. They're a subsidiary of MikeSchmidtComedy.com. We now return to The 40-Year-Old Boy.
I think I already did that music, that Phoebe Cates Fast Times. Bonk. I did that in another episode, I think. Folks, I'm nothing if not a walking encyclopedia of the things I've done and I haven't done. That's the problem, is I talk so much, I have a vague recollection of everything. I'm like, yeah, I did that at some point. It could have been to myself. It could have been to myself walking the streets at some point, just kind of making a joke and laughing. Ah, Christ. Me and Bobby Brown. I can't, honestly, I can't top that, folks. Me and Bobby Brown. Think about that. Take that to the bank. Watch the cherry pie video and think about me working that. Oh, that's the thing. You meet them all. You meet them all on the way down. Because they're Pam Anderson. I talked about that before. It'll happen. Folks, we all know I'm on my way up, right? That's happening. Doubtful. But she's clearly on her way down. But now she's doing, I saw a thing this week, and I said to Karen, I just started laughing. She goes, "What?" And I go, "Oh my God, did you see this thing about Pam Anderson?" She's like, "No." And Karen's conditioned to be gun shy about anything I talk about Pam Anderson. It doesn't matter. Pam Anderson is, saving the whales. Pam Anderson has a recipe for cheesecake. I don't fucking care. I'm reading it. So this week she's been announced. Nokia is putting out a phone or some camera phone or whatever the fuck high definition thing. And there's a contest where Pamela Anderson is a sponsor. And the winner of this contest, I don't even know what you have to do to enter, but the winner gets to film a bedroom scene with Pamela Anderson. Like, I don't know if they're in bed with her, or I'm sure they'll do some crazy. Inevitably, it'll be like you'll be in bed in a bedroom with Pam Anderson, and you're in bed, but she comes out of the room in like a parka and throws a pie in your face. I'm sure it's one of those. There's chicanery involved. Like, you're not going to be rolling around in the sack with her. And it's funny. I read it out loud to Karen, and Karen's like, "When are you entering?" And I'm like, see, I told you it's going to happen. Inevitably, it's going to happen. I'm gonna meet her on the way. She's on her way down. I'm on the way up. We're going to meet somewhere in the middle, and I'm just going to fucking go to work. I don't care. I got to win the Powerball, whatever I got to do to make it. Well, although, I don't even have to win the Powerball now. I just got to write my name on a slip of paper and send it to Nokia. Literally, that's how bad it's gotten. So now, we might actually be this might be the tipping point. We might actually be crucially in the middle, or she's still, now the fact that I have to enter the contest indicates that I still have to make some effort. All right, so we haven't met in the middle yet. So she's still above me. I'm still moving up. She's still moving down. But eventually, boom, we're going to meet right there in the fucking center. And then she's going to have to enter a Nokia contest to hop in the sack with me. That's what's going to happen. Nokia's going to be like, hey, we've moved into the podcasting realm. We've invented some sort of weird headset that Mike Schmidt endorses, and anybody who enters wins. And then she would enter, because that's the thing, is I have to think that she would enter, because then she'd be doing anything for fame, and why not glomming onto podcasting, which is sweeping the nation and changing the world. It's doing none of those things. I realize that. I got to enter this contest. I don't know what the fuck you got to do, but just come on to film it. And how horrible would that be to film a bedroom? And again, I'm a lot of shape. I mean, I got to work out. I got to get in shape. Although, again, if you have money, you don't have to be in shape. But I don't have money either. But if I win the contest, I don't need money, because that's as good as winning money, right? I've won the contest, so that's as good as having money. And filming a bedroom scene with Pam Anderson, and she's got Hep C. Like, how do they get around that? I mean, how many waivers? How thick is that contract? It's got to be like a phone book in case she sneezes on you and you wind up dying in a month. You know what I mean? Then your family's going to sue Nokia and own the whole fucking thing. You can't have that. I don't know if Hep C works that way. I have no idea. Whatever. I get no fucking clue. And I don't even know if she would sneeze on you. She's got to be polite, right? She'd bury her face in her elbow. Pam Anderson to do that for me, which is what I understand that's the polite way to sneeze now, from what I heard. You do that. You sneeze into your elbow, because you don't use your hands, because you use your hands so much. Touch things, shake hands, jerk off, whatever the fuck you use your hands for. You don't want to have germs on them. So literally, the polite thing to do, I read this, is you sneeze into the crook of your elbow, which I think is even creepier. Then you got your arm is befouled for all eternity. I mean, then you got to take a shower to get sneezes off of you, because you can wash your hands. Who the fuck's up their elbows in a goddamn restroom sink? All of a sudden now I got to pull over at a mobile and wash my entire arm in a bathroom sink. I don't even want to touch the fucking faucets in that joint. Why does it have to be a mobile? Why does it have to be a bathroom sink? Why couldn't I just go ahead and find a regular nice sink? Because there's no nice public sinks. We all know this. I mean, even if you think even if when you walk in it's a nice public sink, know that an hour ago it wasn't. Know that an hour ago there was a guy in there and he took a shit in the sink and somebody came in and had to scoop it out. That's what happened, because that's the fucking public bathroom, folks. It's horrible. Yeah, that's right. When I saw the little kid taking a fucking piss at the Kodiak, I'm just like, really, dude? Honestly? Oh, you're a fucking animal. All right, so. What was I talking about? Washing the arm, crook of the elbow. Oh, I got and I tell you now, folks. I tell all of my listeners about the crook of the elbow. As I just learned this, I was able to tell somebody that in person the other day. Karen and I went to IKEA. My first visit to an IKEA, by the way.
Really?
Because Karen, she wanted to look at a couch. Like, she ripped it out of a magazine and gave it to me. And it was a Cranston. I don't know what the fuck it was called. But she's like, let's go. She just handed it to me. She was on the phone with my mom at the time. She handed me tore out a page of a couch. So I was like, I think this is a hint. And, my wife likes to do that kind of stuff. And I thought it might be kind of fun. So I wrote her a note. And I said, do you want to go for meatballs and couch tryouts? And I gave it to her. I said, I wrote, IKEA closes at 9. Let's go for meatballs and couch tryouts. And she's like, she smiled and she's nodding. Yes, yes. And the reason I said meatballs is because I remember I've only been to IKEA once in my life. And it was with my a guy, John, when I was writing on Funnies, Pets, and People, John had to pick out a pillow or some nonsense. So he's like, let's go to IKEA. So we walked into IKEA, and he's looking for a pillow, and he goes, hey, let's have lunch. And I'm like, dude, I'm here in IKEA? He's like, yeah, and they have like a cafeteria, and it sells meatballs and stuff. And I'm like, I'm out. So, but I told Karen, I go, well, let's explore the cafeteria. Why not? So, dude, we walk into IKEA, and it was the one, it's in Burbank. And I had never been, it is, dude, I don't know if you've ever been in IKEA before. IKEA is a Swedish word that means airplane hangar. It is the largest freestanding building. It is so fucking huge. And you get lost in it. You walk in, like, all right, let's put it this way. On Halloween, when you go to one of those haunted houses and it's dark, but you walk in one entrance and all of a sudden you're going upstairs and around and down and there's zombies and fucking hanging plastic slats and you got to look out for people that are chasing you with axes and you're in a maze. That's IKEA. If you turn the lights on, you would see a bunch of Swedish furniture amidst the ghosts. Every Halloween haunted house is set in an IKEA. I'm telling you, we walked into this fucking joint, and part of me was gun shy. I was waiting for goblins and people with axes to chase me through this fucking joint because it was like not Scary Farm, but with fucking tasteful Swedish wooden furniture. I mean, it was crazy as you're walking in circles, and Karen and I couldn't believe it. Because you're just moving forward. You're just pressing. It's like the long march. It's the long walk. Richard Bachman wrote IKEA. All right, that's what it is. Seriously, it's a Richard Bachman book, and it's the long walk. We're walking forward. There's no exit. It doesn't say you can leave this way. You just have to keep moving on. It's like those haunted houses where you're eventually going to get to the exit. Well, we just kept walking and detouring in your dressers and then couches and then beds, and then we saw like the cafeteria, and I go, let's go in there quickly. And we go to the cafeteria, folks, it's a fucking zoo. There was 1,000 people in this cafeteria eating because they had a special. Here's the two different specials they had. I guess the meatballs are normally $5. And it's a plate of meatballs with mashed potatoes and lingonberry preserves, which they lie. It's, fucking strawberry jelly, whatever the fuck it is. And that's $5 for a plate of food. But because we were there, it was Labor Day weekend, and I looked, there's a sign, September 3rd through the 6th, kids eat free. So it is just, it's like a preschool because there's thousands of kids climbing on tables and all that, and they're just shoveling meatballs into their mouth. And again, it's like school food. It was like a school. That's what it was, because you go in line, you grab a tray and all that kind of shit. And this made me laugh. They had all the food is quote unquote Swedish. All right. So they have a dessert thing, and it said there's almond pie and chocolate fachunk, whatever the fuck. It's all got stupid names. And sure enough, man, it said we are celebrating the marriage of King Gustav of Sweden and whoever the fuck, some woman, Pam Anderson. Actually, he won a contest. We are celebrating the marriage of King Gustav of Sweden to Pamela Anderson, American actress, because Nokia has arranged the entire thing. He went ahead and filled out a fucking form. Whoever the fuck the king married. But it said we're celebrating by having wedding cake. They're selling wedding cake there or whatever. So Karen is peering in. She's looking at the desserts. Because I said, let's get some meatballs and split them. Because, I wasn't there to eat dinner. I was like, honestly, I was just looking to get off the fucking, the Trail of Tears. All right? I just wanted to avoid getting massacred by some American cavalrymen and go do something, eat meatballs, anything, to avoid the oncoming massacre. So we walk in and I go, let's just split some meatballs. Well, my wife, look, folks, I'm telling you this clearly. I'm going to be poor. More poor, like infinite poor, like death poor, like dirt floor poor, like fucking Pernell Roberts comes to my neighborhood and goes, look at this fat guy with a cleft palate poor. That's what I'm going to be in the coming weeks. Because my wife, I don't get it. I go, don't spend any money. To my wife, not spending money is she spends $50. Like it's the weirdest. She'll go into the 99-cent store. Dude, I just hadn't did the checkbook. She went to the 99-cent store twice in one day and spent like $36 one time and $26 another time. I'm like, what are you spending $52 on at the goddamn 99-cent store? Look, I love my wife, all right? And she's a grown woman and she can do whatever the fuck she wants, except it's always the opposite of what I want her to goddamn do. I finally went to the 99-cent store because I wanted to see, the creature in its habitat. I wanted to see how it fucking performed. So she goes, we need dish soap and we need paper towels. Now, look, I got to tell you folks something. I hate the 99-cent store. Hate it. Hate it on general principle. Because when I was a kid, there were places like Aldi, all these different grocery stores when you were a kid. They were the poor people stores. Okay? I can go to Jewel. I can go to Dominic's when I'm in Chicago. I preferably Jewel because that's where I like to go. But I'll go to Dominic's too because they have brand names and they have real food and they have a deli with a person manning it, not a fucking salami chopping robot. I don't want any of that bullshit. God damn it. Although, how great would it be to have a salami chopping robot in your house? Jesus Christ. You know what, folks? I got to be honest. IKEA needs to get on that. I walked all over that place and I did not get to the salami chopping robot section. Perhaps they already have it. Although I got to tell you, I covered every single fucking inch of that store. Whatever, I'll get to that in a second. But man, when I was what the hell was I? What did I detour into? The bad grocery stores. Jesus Christ. So we go to the 99-cent store, Karen and I, and when I was a kid, it was Aldi, and I don't want to buy beans. Okay? I want to buy Somebody Presents Beans. It's like a movie. Like, you wouldn't just see a movie called Movie, would you? Fuck generics. I hate them. They just drive me crazy. When I was a kid, we had to do that because we were poor. Powdered milk. Holy fuck. Stab me in the eye with the wooden spoon when you're done stirring it so I don't have to fucking drink it. I hate powdered milk. I hate poor people food. I hate it. I don't want toothpaste from India. I don't fucking want it. There's a reason those people live in rain gutters, all right? I don't fucking go look at the streets of Calcutta and tell me I'm supposed to trust any personal hygiene product from fucking India. You got to be shitting me. I saw Slumdog Millionaire. There's a kid waist deep in shit looking for a gold doubloon. I don't want any fucking toothpaste from these cocksuckers. God damn it, buy me some American toothpaste. And that's not racist. That's not nationist. That's not me being xenophobic. I just don't want the fucking toothpaste from India. Got it? My fucking wife she comes home with Chinese cleaners. I get the bit. What the fuck? China's not clean. The entire place, you could cut the smog with a goddamn Ginsu knife, and they hand them to you when they get there because they hate the Japanese. Here, take a Ginsu. It's because they mock the Japanese with the knife. You got to carve it like a doorway, like Wile E. Coyote, into a fucking thing of smog to walk through the streets of China. Don't fucking belabor me with fucking Chinese cleaning products. Just shit from the 99-cent store. I don't want it. Squid in a can, shit like that. No, I don't want it. Nobody wants beans. Like I said, you wouldn't see a movie called Movie, all right? I need a bit of a fluffer. I need some accoutrement. Give me descriptive adjectives in my food, all right? Can I have that? God damn it. But she comes home with nonsense. And nonsense, like I said, she's Lloyd. She's Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber. Don't spend any money. Don't spend any money. What does that mean? What does that mean, folks? What do those 4 words mean? Don't spend any money. You know what it means? Don't spend any fucking money. So she goes to the 99-cent store. She comes home. All right, before the trip, I went with her when she's got the receipt and all that. You know what she bought, folks? Here's what she bought. 5 inflatable pink dolphin swim toys. Literally pink dolphins that you would inflate and throw in the pool. She bought 5 of them. And I said, look, I don't... look, I understand why you didn't buy 1. You don't want him to be lonely. So you could have just bought 2, and then it would have been me and you against the world type of thing. The 2 of them would have been fine. But you bought 5. Why? Why? You don't even swim. What the fuck? But she's just like, oh, I know, come on, it's fine. And so then she inflates them, and they're in my house, and she sets them up on the chair, so they look at me when I'm on the desk. I'm working, or I'll come home at night, or I'll come home in the morning, and she has them just peering over at chairs and looking at me and stuff like that. I said, is this funny? You're rubbing it in? You think that's funny? It's cute. Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's cute. All right, but when you don't have any fucking money, it's not so goddamn cute. Because we're fucking broke. She got laid off. So she decided when she got laid off, she's like, oh man, you know what's gonna make me feel better? Spending all of the money we have. God damn it. So I go with her to the fucking 99-cent store. She goes, we need paper towels and we need dish soap. I said, great, that's $2. Buy 1 roll of paper towels and 1 roll of dish soap. I'll go with you. Let's go. Because it's funny, it's a running joke. When I go home to see Max, his wife shops for the family, and she'll buy store brand stuff or that kind of stuff. It's not nearly as harsh as generics and things like that, but she'll buy, store brand, and I buy, I come to town and it's like, look, I want Hidden Valley Ranch. I'm buying it. That's it. And I buy real pickles. You know what I mean? From the guy with the bird on it, whatever the fuck. That's what I want. Yeah, Vlasic. I want real sweet pickles or whatever, and I'm only in town for 5 days. But I'll buy pineapple. I'll buy whatever, and I'll buy brand name because that's what I like. That's what I've done. Look, I can afford $4 extra. I can afford 40 extra cents to get Kraft macaroni and cheese instead of it looks like a germ going mac and cheese and he's doing a tap dance. Fuck your store brand. Shove it up your ass. I'm not interested. That's what I'm saying. It's like a little dude in a top hat. He's like, mac and cheese. Fuck off. I want Kraft macaroni and cheese and I can spend the extra 8 cents. I can do that. Okay? It might eventually pile up, and if I wind up in the goddamn poorhouse, then you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to eat mac and cheese. But right now, I want Kraft macaroni and cheese, all right? So back the fuck off. I walked down the cereal aisle. It's like, look, dude, I want Cheerios. I don't need, Tostios. Fuck off. No thanks. With the fucking, all the weird mascots. I don't, all those off-brand idiots. Get lost. I want Captain Crunch. I don't want Admiral Crispy. You know what I mean? So fuck that, man. So you go to the 99-cent store, but that's all you see. Like I said, it's food from other lands. It's like, it's like the IKEA of food. Because IKEA has all this Swedish furniture and bullshit. You walk into there, it's like, and essentially you're transported to Mexico. I mean, you're walking around looking for shit to buy. There's little kids trying to sell you blankets and chiclets. No wonder she spends so much fucking money in there. Just to get to a goddamn cart, you got to spend $14 on blankets and chiclets. Chocolate, sir? Chocolate? Get the fuck away from me. I got to go buy squid in a can. Look, son, I'd love to give you some money, but I got to go buy 5 inflatable pink dolphins. Please step out of my way. So I tell her, I'm like, dude, just, you know what, if you're going to buy, whatever you're going to buy at the 9 cents, I'll go with you. She's like, I need to buy soap and towel. Great, $2. Well, up and down every aisle, picking stuff out. Cheez-Its for, these are 3 for $1. Throws them in the car. And by the time, sure enough, by the time we get to the thing, and then she finds Propel. I drink Propel. And I don't like the cheap Propel, but it's like, I've realized at this point I need to make a sacrifice because it's still, it's still Propel made in America, all right? It doesn't have an accent mark over the E, okay? It's still the Propel. It just happens to be about a month off, and I can deal with that. That's fine. If that's what I got to do to save fucking a dime each bottle, because the thing is I buy it in bulk. I'll buy like 50 bottles of it. So, if I save $5, whatever the fuck, that's fine. But I don't understand buying all the other little things. Like she's buying, I want Philadelphia cream cheese. I don't want cream cheese. You know what I mean? With an exclamation point. What the fuck are you doing? She'll buy English muffins from there, and I go, I won't eat that. And she goes, well, we've had them before. And right, I'm telling you, I won't eat that. I don't want it. And she's like, well, I'll just get them. And I go, great, you're going to eat the entire package. You're going to eat the entire fucking package. She's like, well, they're Western bagel. I go, I don't care. They've been here forever. I don't know. I don't want them. I don't want them. That's just what I try to convey it. And I've told it to her nicely. All right? Over and over. And motherfucking over, I've told her nicely, I won't eat produce from the 99-cent store. I don't want it. I don't want produce from the 99-cent store. Because I know for a fact that the guys stocking the shelves that morning donned fucking, big floppy hats and took machetes out and chopped these bananas off a fucking tree 20 miles away and brought them in here. I don't want it, all right? I want something that has the illusion of being from a store. I know it sounds crazy. It's crazy. Fine. But I don't want to, there's a bin of avocados in the front. I mean, it's just like, dude, no. I don't want produce from the 99-cent store. I want it from a real fucking store. Look, I'm wrong. All right, I get it. I'm probably wrong. But, dude, you get bananas home from the 99-cent store, and they go bad quick. I also don't want produce from Trader Joe's. Because fucking Trader Joe's, in their organic save the planet fucking haze, all their grapes and shit go bad in like a day. You know what I mean? Because they won't use pesticides. I want shit that's, fucking coat it in paraquat and I'll eat it. All right? I want grapes that are going to last a week. I don't give a shit if they kill me. If they last a week, I'll trade giving a week of my life away to the poisons that were used to preserve them. Fuck. I don't know, spiral off into that. You're so funny. You just want this to end, and I don't blame you.
I'm trying to get back there. IKEA's the meatballs.
Yeah, so we went to IKEA, and all these kids are there, so she wants the wedding cake. She actually wants it. That's what I'm saying. That's what it was. Because I said, let's split a plate of meatballs. She's looking for the wedding cake. Like she's like, oh, they have wedding cake, and she starts poking around in the little freezer, and I go, dude, why do you want wedding cake? What she should have done is she should have gone, because King Gustav just got married, and you know what I mean, like. Then it's funny. Then I go, all right, get the wedding cake. But she just went, what? And I go, you don't need wedding cake. We're just getting off of the fucking the conveyor belt and killing some time. So, and they have a deal where you can add like 5 extra meatballs for 50 cents. For the fuck's like, throw some extra meatballs in there. And so they did. They piled the meatballs on. It's a big plate of food for like $6. Yeah. And we walk over to the thing, and then they had like a salad, and Karen's nosing around the salad. I go, we're not eating dinner here. This is like, we're only trying it. What if it sucks? We don't even know what the fuck it's going to taste like. So then we walk over to check out. And the whole reason I brought this up is because then I get to the counter, and there's a woman named Michelle who's checking people out. And Michelle, look, by the way, that $1 for 5 extra meatballs is a racket because nobody got charged for it. Like everybody in line got the 5 extra. Michelle didn't ask anybody. She's just literally charging the $4.99 for everybody. Didn't even ask them. There's a toothpick in there with like a little flag that tells them, I guess, that hey, these guys get extra meatballs. She didn't give a shit. What does she care? But also, I will tell you this: when I got right when I got up to the counter, she sneezed. She went to go sneeze, and then she went and she did not use her hands, that's because she realized she's dealing with the public. But here's what Michelle did, which was a little creepy, I won't lie. Michelle went, and she went, and she sneezed. She pulled her shirt up to her face like a handkerchief, and it was a button. You wear a polo with like 3 or 4 buttons undone. Her buttons were undone, and she pulled it, and she sneezed right into her shirt like that. which I won't lie, I enjoyed because I got a great shot of Michelle's rack when she did it. Because she pulled her shirt open to do it, and I looked right down her shirt as she went and sneezed. And she had, a pretty big rack. I was excited about that for IKEA. Although it's not called a rack there, it's a rinkroar. I know I've talked about that where I've mentioned IKEA, but going there is a completely different experience from, thinking about it. But then I told her, and so then I was able to tell her, hey, when you sneeze, it's perfectly acceptable to sneeze into the crook of your elbow. She said, what? I said, yeah, it's like I just found this. And so the lesson I just taught you folks, I was able to teach Michelle live. That's what spiraled me off into talking about this. So Michelle was very happy and then took that to heart, apparently. I don't know. There's no end to that story. It's just.
Did you get wedding cake?
There was no wedding cake. No, because, well, first of all, it wasn't. There wasn't any in the little freezer, and even if there was, I was going to karate chop Karen if she grabbed it. I was like, fuck King Gustav and his marriage. Because I'll tell you what, that if you buy that wedding cake, that will be celebrating the marriage of King Gustav and the divorce of Mike and Karen. Because I am not buying wedding cake at fucking IKEA. Are you shitting me? All we're doing is killing time. Why do you need cake? I don't even know we can eat these shitty meatballs. And then we went and found a table. We sat down. Oh, Jesus, were those good. Holy fuck. Folks, those meatballs are awesome. I'm not going to lie to you. They just, because they kind of, and also I did succumb to something else that Karen wanted because we got the plate of meatballs, and then they had broccoli potato medallions. And I don't know what those are called. They have another Swedish name. And I go, all right, well, I'll take those, because 2 for $2. So we went up and I said, all right, I'll, to assuage me yelling at her over the wedding cake, I got the broccoli potato medallions. And Jesus, that was I would eat at IKEA every goddamn day. If I could get in there without taking 1,000 steps. Literally, they always say the longest journey still begins with a single step. Well, that journey starts at IKEA. Because, Jesus, talk about the longest fucking journey. We are walking around. We're looking at dressers, looking at all this different stuff, and in and out and up and down and all around. It was crazy. So, sure enough, we finished the meatballs, and I'm like, all right, we got to make our escape. So we're walking, and and then we try out couches. We sit in the couches, and that was fun. And Karen kept, we kept doing was we kept going, step into my office. So we go into the little made-up house, and I'd sit down, and then she'd sit down, and we'd try out the couch. She'd go, step into my office. Then we'd walk over into another place. All you're doing is like, we were running ass tests, you know what I mean, on all the furniture. So then we walked in, we see the beds, then we see the dressers, then and then Karen's in the market for a dresser, so she's talking to the guy, and I want to get it delivered. I go, can you just buy a dresser that's put together? Because believe me, I don't have any interest in sitting down with Karen and a pile of wood. You know what I mean? I'm just like, because she's good at it. Like I said, she can follow it, but I'm stupid. I just want to, you know how I want to build a dresser? With a magic wand. That's what I want to use. Fuck a screwdriver. I want to have something that I can go ring and go abracadabra. Literally, that's what I want. I want to get home the dresser and open it up, and instead of it having that fucking crescent wrench or whatever the fuck it comes with, I want to open up the manual and have it be 2 pages. 1, open magic wand. 2, say hocus pocus. Done. The dresser's put together. That's a great manual, and that's a purchase I invest in. And you'd think it's from Sweden. Have they invented magic over there? They must have invented magic. God damn it, they've invented everything else. If they can sell me 85 meatballs for $4, how can they not give me a magic wand that makes a dresser fucking fixed? So we're walking through, and she's got dressers, and I go to the guy. I'm like, hey, can you just ship this to my house the way it looks? Like that. I want that dresser. I don't want to build it. And he's like, no, we don't do that. He goes, there's an as-is section. And I'm like, oh, where's that? He's like, it's downstairs around by the registers, and, there you go down there. I said, all right, well, is there a downstairs? Like, how the fuck do I get out of this joint? Because I didn't even remember going upstairs. I literally don't remember going upstairs. We just kept walking. All of a sudden, I wound up being upstairs somehow. And I was in one of those abortion hell houses that the fucking church has put on. I'm waiting. Literally, they have those mock-up bedrooms and I'm waiting to come around, and there's a woman getting an abortion on one, and then pointing a fucking hanger at me and going, see what will happen? And just a pile of meatballs on the ground, playing the abortion. With lingonberry preserves all over the place. Holy God, what a mess. Oh, Jesus. Plate of meatballs and lingonberry preserves. Oh, that abortion. I'm hitting a table, folks. That made me laugh. All right, so won't make any of you laugh. You're horrified. All right, so I'm upstairs. I don't even know how I got upstairs at IKEA. But I'm walking around. The guy's like, sorry, we don't do that. There's an as-is section. So then Karen and I just, put our pith helmets back on and plunge back into the wild as we try to get through around every, Hispanic family also doing couch tryouts and free meatballs, because that's what they're all doing. It's like a zoo. Like, it's really like, because you just come in with your kids and you turn them loose. You go look at all the fun stuff. And the kids are jumping on the beds and sitting on the things, and, couches are broken and shit. So I'm like, I can't even buy the broken couch. Like, I would buy that. That would be worth it to me. As long as I don't have to put it together, I don't give a shit. I don't care. The couches. And although I wouldn't buy an as-is couch, like at least certain, because again, it's all ass tryouts. You would bring home the as-is couch, and you would just have the ghosts of 1,000 asses haunting your house forever. Literally, like Burbank, the entire city of Burbank's asses would live in your house with the as-is couch. And look, I already have the ghost of Bobby Brown's ass haunting my house at all times, which is fine. If you told me Bobby Brown was in a thong trying out all the couches at IKEA, boom, I'm in, I buy it. But I don't need to have the Gonzalez family's asses present in my house forever. Jesus, so we're walking through IKEA. I'm just trying to get the fuck out. I want out. And Karen wants a dresser. She's like, oh, my birthday's coming up. My wife, again, fickle. Her birthday's coming up, so I'm like, what do you want? I go, would you want, like, a dresser for your birthday? Is that what you want? And she's like, really, Michael? Like, she gets this face, like, I really need a dresser, and that would be great. And I'm like, okay, we'll pick one that you would want. And, but I go, but the thing is, that if we do that, then we're not going for sushi dinner, and we're not, unfortunately, we're on a budget. I hate to be that guy, but we are. And then she's like, oh, well, then no, never mind. I'm like, you'd rather have a sushi dinner than a goddamn dresser? I go, honest? And she's just like, well, I don't know. Why can't we do? Because I will also tell you this, all right? I'm what's known in the parlance as a softie. Because what she should do is she should accept the dresser, because then she should have that day said, yeah, I'll take the dresser, because then she knows when her birthday comes, I can't say no to the sushi dinner anyway. We would have still gone because I'm a fucking goof. And I don't mind. Just eventually, I'm just going to be sleeping in a dumpster, clutching an inflated pink dolphin, just like rocking back and forth. That's where I'm headed, folks. So we try to get out of IKEA. We're walking around. I'm just praying to find the exit, daylight, a window, fucking anything. I'm ready to get a grappling hook and just throw it to the ceiling and rappel up. So we finally come upon the downstairs. We find a thing. We head down. And I start to smell like cinnamon. So I'm like, oh, there's an exit with cinnamon. Get me the fuck out of here. I don't, unless they're, the Gonzalez family is trying out the microwaves. Unless they've decided to go ahead and bust out a roll of, Pillsbury sweet rolls and threw those in the microwave. I got no fucking idea. The Gonzalez family is having a time. So, and I mean the entire Gonzalez family. I'm surprised they didn't rent a moon bounce and just put it up in the goddamn meatball house. Seriously, it's somebody's birthday, and they're celebrating Labor Day by doing ass tryouts and eating meatballs just like me, but with their entire extended family. Holy shit. Get a moon bounce, have a goddamn balloon clown. Eddie should have been there. The whole thing could have worked out perfect. The Gonzalez family has taken over IKEA. So I'm just trying to find my way around. They're all underfoot. I'm just clawing my way out. And finally we get downstairs, and I'm like looking for you have to walk through the huge warehouse where they put the Ark of the Covenant from Raiders. Like, it's this, I'm asking top men where the exit are, and I'm just trying to find my way out. I'm walking through the fucking huge to the ceiling, like rafters and color-coded numbers, and this is where your dresser is, and the pallets. Oh, get me the fuck out of this store! We should just bomb the Swedes. Seriously, they're supposed to be meticulously organized, but I think, well, yeah, but the entire store is like a saw trap. All of IKEA was like I figured Jigsaw just locked the door behind me, and he's like, go eat meatballs and find your way out. You know what I mean? What the fuck? The whole thing was a goddamn haunted house. So I'm waiting for Jigsaw to put my arm in and shoot me with a shotgun, whatever the fuck. And I'm waiting for the 9 other people who've taken over for Jigsaw since he died. I didn't even see Saw 6, but I can't even imagine who's doing the killings now. It might be me. Like, literally, in the Saw movies, the killers are picked by the lines you take at a deli counter. It's like, oh, now killing number 11. You know what I mean? You're the new Jigsaw. Jesus, fuck, Saw. Wrap it up. I'm glad that they held on just long enough to get to be Saw 3D. You knew that was coming, obviously. Anyway, so I'm trying to get out of the warehouse. I smell the cinnamon. I'm just following it blindly at this point, like a rat looking for cheese. And I see the registers. I hear the checking out. I see the Gonzalez family all spread out. We finally get to the front, and then I see the arrow with the as-is section. So Karen's like, well, let's go look for a dresser over there. I said, okay. And it's funny, when you walk through IKEA, it's all... the couches are a little dingy and they're beaten up from people sitting on them, but it's still amazing. Everything's really nice, and it's like faux living rooms everywhere you look, faux bedrooms, and it's a huge amusement park of Swedish furniture and meatballs. But then when you get down and you go to the as-is section, that is truly the Juarez of IKEA. That is the fucking, I mean, it is the crazy. If I thought I was buying chiclets and blankets outside, sure, you walk into there and it's just, there may as well be homeless and panhandlers in the as-is section of IKEA. It is truly the IKEA ghetto. It is like cast off to the side by the registers. You walk in, and it's the island of misfit toys. There's a Charlie in the box, and then there's a fucking like a couch with 3 legs, and with a dog with 3 legs there guarding it. I mean, everything is just, and this, all these zombie people who are glazed over because they had to walk through the entire store just like me. And you're in the as-is section just decompressing, and it looks like you're walking through the bombed-out Gaza Strip as there's nothing but hammered-out furniture, and you're just trying to recover because you're still meatball groggy. And you walk into the as-is section, and you think you're going to get tricked into buying something, and I'm like, I can't understand why this stuff is even for sale. It looked like they opened a dumpster. They just went, hey, come on in. This is the garbage dump, and everything's for sale. Holy God. So I'm waiting for like there to be a car crusher that's smashing fucking old dressers. So we walk in, and Karen's looking around, and she again, my wife, she's settling because she didn't get a dresser upstairs, and I was able to talk her down and go, let's think about it, let's another time. So we go to the as-is section. There's a dresser that has 4 drawers that work, and she goes, I love it. I mean, like literally, that's all of a sudden she's on board with that dresser. But the thing is, the ones we looked at upstairs were kind of distressed. The wood, and was red, kind of cherry red. It looked nice, but it looked older. It looked really neat. This thing looks like the piece of shit brown pressed wood that you get everywhere. You know what I mean? It just looked terrible. And it had a huge chunk out of the corner of it because it had been used in a murder, I think. I don't know what the hell happened. I opened the drawer. There's like a baby's corpse in there. I'm like, oh my God. Close it really fast. So I just went, Karen, you don't really want this, do you? She's like, well, I think I do. It's really nice, and I can put the TV on top of it and use it in the drawers. I go, Karen, it's shitty. This thing's shitty. I'm not gonna, I'll do what you want. And she's like, well, it doesn't have a price on it. And I go, well, I don't know how that works. Do you have to lift it up? Is it? And she goes, no, everything else has a price. This doesn't. So I went over and asked the 5 IKEA dudes who've been, unfortunately punished and have to work in the as-is section. Just frowny faces and horrified as they dream of being upstairs with the lingonberries. Oh, the lingonberries. Oh, my God. Why aren't we with the lingonberries? They're down here with fucking, broken furniture piles. And I'm like, hey, is there a price on this? The guy goes, oh, no, I'll look it up. So he comes out and looks at it and gets a number. He goes in the back. So he's got to look for the number. And there's all these zombies looking at shitty furniture. And Karen is looking at a stove. There's like a stove, an entire stove with like all the wires hanging out of it, just sitting there with a sign, plastered fucking as is. Oh, horrible. So I look and there's an office chair, okay, a rolly chair, and it's no carpet. It's so I sit in the rolly chair and it had pretty good wheels, so I started fucking driving around. So I would go all the way to the end of the as-is section, and I would kick myself back, and I did it on purpose to go by where they were looking up the price, and I would go by and I go, any price? And I would just drive by like I was rolling around, and then and then the best part, it was like a really kind of a streamlined one, so I would kick myself way back, but then I could spider walk with the front feet, like, and like driving around, and I was like a little tank, and I was smashing into furniture, and I would spin. I was trying to do as many spins as I could, like shoot myself, and I'd go, okay, I got to do 3 rotations, like 1, 2, oh, it stopped. So then I'd do it back, and of course the Gonzalez family is looking at me. The adults are looking at me like, I can't fucking believe this guy, but the kids are like, get out of the rolly chair, because they think it's a ride. I'm like, holy God, free meatballs and a rolly chair ride? I'm in. And I'm like, fuck you, Gonzalez family. Take a walk. And I'm driving all over the place. And I'm driving in aisles, and I'm cutting around, and I'm going around like the stove. And I'm just doing it in circles. Like, and Karen's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? Come on, it's as is. So you know what? This is me. As is. So I get in the chair and I'm fucking rolling around, and the guy comes out with the sticker. He finally sees me, and they're all giving me, nobody will tell me to stop, which is great, but they're all giving me fucking dirty look like they can't believe what's going on. And the guy comes out with the sticker, and he boom, slaps it on the desk. And the dresser in question, which was originally $150, is now as is for $75. And Karen's like, that's a really good price. And I said, no. No, it's not, because that's just a piece of shit brown dresser. Like, it's not nice. There's no flair. If you want something good, we'll spend the extra and get you the nice red one, because that one looked nice. At least I'll pay $150 if it looked nice. Again, folks, I buy brand name pickles. I'm willing to buy a goddamn brand name dresser. I don't need to settle. I'm in the fucking, you know what that is? The As Is the 99-cent store of fucking IKEA. I don't need to be down there buying inflatable pink dolphins and shitty brown dressers. Get me upstairs where the good stuff is. Actually, don't, please. God, please don't get me back upstairs. I will never escape. So she looks at it, and she looks at me and goes, that's a really good price. And I go, honey, you don't want that. It's all brown and stuff. She goes, I think I really want it. And all right, I can't, this is a visual gag, but it's not going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm still in the rolly chair. She's standing up, and here's the dresser in front of us, and I'm talking to her. I'm sitting in the chair. She looks down at me. She goes, that's a really good price. I go, honey, come on. You want the nice one upstairs. You don't want to pay $75 for this. It's just a shitty brown one. And she looks at me. She goes, I think I want this one. And I looked at her, and I went, fine. And I pushed off I shot like a cannon. I pushed off with my feet and just completely, like I was in an ejector seat, and I ejected all the way back out of the as-is section. And I'm just rolling, and I'm looking at her while I'm rolling. And she's looking at me and just shaking her head, and I'm just like, ha, ha, ha. And I roll, and because I pushed off. And the thing is, you have to be careful not to push off too crazy hard, because the whole point is to go for speed, but not, you can't overload it. So I did it, and I did a couple of rotations, and I came to the end of the as-is section with my arms crossed looking at her, and she's like, oh, why are you doing this? And as mad as I am about her buying the dresser, she's probably double mad about me being 5 years old and driving around in a goddamn chair. But honestly, I want him to throw in this fucking chair. This thing is great. I wish I'd have had it upstairs. I'd have been happy to negotiate the haunted house in this fucking chair. So I then shoot over to the dude, and I roll over, and I go, hey, I think we want to get this dresser. And he goes, okay, well, you need to get a flat cart and just take it over to the front. I go, well, will they deliver it? And he goes, it's $50 for delivery. He goes, I don't know if you want. I go, well, I don't think it's going to fit in your car, Karen. She goes, yeah, it will, because she doesn't care at this point. She's happy to be getting it. She doesn't care if we have to cut the roof off of her fucking car to get the shitty dresser. She's happy. So she goes, it will. And I go, all right, fine, we'll take it. So I'm talking to the guy, and I go, all right, fine. I'll just get a flat cart. He goes, okay. So I roll away from him, and I drive away. And I come around, and I go looking for a flat cart. I'm still on the chair. Mind you, I drive it all the way over by the registers. I did. I don't care. And because my favorite part is, all right, when I do shit like that, okay, I do that to see how long it's going to take someone to go, dude, get the fuck out of that chair. All right? That's the other, because it's fun to me. It's fucking hilarious. I did this. All right, did I tell this story on here? I think you know this story, but I don't know if I told it on the show. One time, I'm on the road. All right. I'm out doing comedy with Brian Noonan. Famous Brian Noonan from Chicago. You know this story, but I don't know. I don't know if it's on here. All right, Brian Noonan and I, we do our show, and in the middle of the night, we go to 24-hour Walmart. All right. Now, this is a long time ago. This is easily 2003, probably. 2004. All right, let me tell you this. This is the same tour where I got into the fight with the karaoke DJ at the club at One Liners in Indiana. Okay, so this is that time period where he and I are on the road together for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we're in South Bend at the Funny Bone, and then we're at One Liners in Indiana, and it's not going well. So we go to Walmart in the middle of the night. It's a 24-hour Walmart, and it's 1 a.m. So we walk up, and Brian goes to go in the store, and I said, I'll be in a second. So he goes in, and there's a Jazzy outside. All right, a cart, like a rascal scooter. And it's just out front. It's because Walmart is the haven for the obese and the ill and the infirm. So they have them there for people to use. So 1 a.m, I'm with Brian. I hop on the Jazzy. So I drive it. And it's had no pickup. It's certainly no office chair. But I'm driving it. And I'm really fat too at the time. I mean, this is like 450, 500-pound Mike. Okay. So I drive the Jazzy in, and I drive in, and Noonan is shopping. He doesn't even know it because he just went in. So he comes around an aisle, and he just sees me sitting up, smiling, driving the Jazzy. And he just makes a face, and he goes, fuck, Schmidt. And he walks off because he wants nothing to do with it. All right? So I drive the Jazzy. I'm driving it, and it's not going fast enough for my taste because I want to jackass it. I mean, I want to drive it into a fucking pyramid of canned goods and have it topple over on me like Jack Tripper. I mean, that's what I want to fucking do. But I'm driving, and it's it's got like a little ooga horn, like a little ooga thing. So I push that a couple of times. It's like I'm in a Model T. It's that kind of, So I'm driving, and I'm committing to the bit. all right, because I want Noonan to see me like 4 or 5 times and just go, dude, what the fuck? So I'm driving around the store, and all we're doing is we're buying, because we're staying in a condo, and so we're just buying food for the condo, like sodas and crackers, and I'm fat, so I'm buying whatever the fuck. So I'm driving, so I turn down an aisle, and it's late at night, so there are men stocking the shelves, the Walmart guys, and they're stocking all the groceries and doing all that. And as I'm driving the Rascal down, I pull up by like the Triscuits or something, and they're on the a top shelf. So I pull up and I stop. Boom. And I go to get up and get the Triscuit. And a workman goes, hold on a second, sir, relax. I'll get those for you. And I go, no, it's okay. He goes, no, please, seriously, sit down, relax, it's okay. And he comes over and he takes the Triscuits off the top shelf and he hands them to me and he puts them in the little basket. And he goes, there you go. Is there anything else I can reach for you here? And I go, no, I'm okay. And he goes, well, if you need anything, just ask one of us. We're happy to get it for you. So now, I can't get out of this fucking Jazzy. Because if I do, I am the biggest asshole in the world. Because these two guys just came over to help me out. Very nice, getting the Triscuit off the shelf, very polite, offered to help me. Actually offered to kind of take me and get stuff. And they said, well, if you don't want us, there's always a guy in an aisle who'll help you out. So I can't get up. I was committing to the bit. Now I am the bit. I have to stay in this Jazzy for the entire shopping trip, or I'm going to be the biggest dick in Indiana. So sure enough, I'm like, okay, thank you. Beep, beep, beep. Back up. Ooga. I come down the fucking aisle. I turn the corner, and there's Noonan. He goes, will you get out of that fucking thing? Which is all I was waiting for. All I was waiting for was, honestly, I was Gilligan. I was just waiting for Skipper Noonan to hit me with the hat. That's all I wanted. All I wanted is for Noonan to go, I'm Norton. I'm Ed Norton, and I'm waiting for fucking Ralph Cramden to go, will you come on? That's all I wanted. But now he did it, and I look at him, and he goes, will you get out of that fucking thing? And I go, I can't. He goes, what do you mean you can't? I go, they helped me. The workmen, like they got stuff off the shelf for me. Dude, I go, if I get up now, they're going to know that I didn't need this thing, and I'm just a dick. And he goes, oh, fucking leave it to you. He walks off. So I have to continue the rest of my shopping in a Jazzy. So a shopping trip that quite frankly should have taken 11 minutes of us walking through and me grabbing every fucking fatty, starchy, salty piece of shit food that I could possibly cram into my maw and throw it in a bag and get the fuck out of there. We were in this store for an hour. Because Noonan isn't going to walk with me and help me grab shit. He's just in the front fuming. He's so pissed off at me. But I have to go up and down each aisle in a goddamn Jazzy. And every worker guy's like, what can I get for you? Well, sir, I'd like that. And he has to grab it and hand it to me. Beep, beep. Ooga. I'm driving along in the Jazzy with my fucking handicap, my minimum wage assisted shopping trip. My non-union employee shopping trip as I'm motoring through the Ooga. Ooga. And so I wind up, it took an hour. And then I pull up to the fucking, to the checkout, and Noonan is just purple. He's so mad at me, looking at me. And he's also laughing. I will tell you that he did laugh about it. He did recognize how funny it was, but he was fucking like, dude, this is an hour now. And I'm like, I can't get up. I can't. And sure enough, when I got to the thing, I had to soldier on, I had to put my stuff on the conveyor belt, and then I had to pull myself out of the Jazzy like it was a huge effort, and I fucking pulled myself to stand up and pay for my food, and then I drove the Jazzy out the fucking door. And Noonan looks at me and he goes, really, you're going to drive it out the door? And I just looked at him and went, ooga, ooga. Parked it right where I found it. So, I have a history of this is my point. So I'm rolling around in the goddamn chair. I'm waiting for anybody to tell me to get out of the fucking chair. That's all I want. I just want someone to Ralph Cramden to hit me with their hat and go, will you come on? Even Karen would have done it. But I roll all the way over to the registers. I'm looking for a flat cart. There's a flat cart by the as-is, so I push it over there. And I roll it over, and then I go ahead and I line up by the dresser, and I push off hard on the chair. And I did it too much because I was showing off now at this point. And I think I was even tired of it because it had been 15 minutes of me driving around in the chair and nobody said a fucking word. So I'm like, well, let's at least make it a spectacle. So I shot myself back hard and I banged into the fucking stove, spun, and then fell off the fucking chair and went ass up. Just crashed. I completely, on my own, I self-immolated and I drove hard into the stove, kissed off it, did a spin, and fucking hit the ground. And people start laughing, and Karen's like, "Oh, you need any help over there?" And I go, "Oh, I'm good." Just got up, brushed myself off. Because I wasn't going to get out. Look, I wasn't going to just get out on my own volition. I had to have a horrible accident. Something had to happen. So I get out, and then Gabriel, the IKEA guy, who's miserable and finally has tolerated me on the chair, he comes over, and he's going to help me put the dresser on the flat cart. So we lift the dresser up, and we put it on the flat cart, and we go to check out, and we're in line, and I look at Karen, and I go, "You really want this?" She goes, "Yes." I go, "You're sure you want this? It's I don't like it. I'm just telling you." And I go, "What are you using it for?" She goes, "I'll put the TV on it, and the TV will go here, and then I'll use the drawers, and da-da-da." I go, "And you're going to move the bed?" She's like, "Yeah, it'll go in the bedroom." I said, "Okay, fine. Happy birthday." And she goes, "What?" I go, "Happy birthday. That's cool. You got your dresser for your birthday. Let's check out, and let's get out of here." And she goes, "Well, that's not for my birthday." And I go, "Yeah, you said you wanted a dresser for your birthday, so here it is." She goes, "I don't want an as-is birthday." And I said, well, you know what? That's what you got, hon. It's okay. You this is what you want. I don't want to talk you out of it. This is what you want. She goes, "I don't want an as-is birthday. Put it back." And I go, "I'm not putting it back. Really?" And she goes, "Yeah, I don't want it." I go, "You're sure now you don't want it?" Because they close in like 10 minutes. I go, "You're sure you don't want it?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't want it if that's for my birthday. Like, I don't want a junky dresser for my birthday." I go, "Why do you want a junky dresser at all then?" Because that's who she is. Oh, look, dolphins. Let's buy them. You know what I mean? That's who she is. So I go, "All right, fine, I'll put it back." So now we wheel it back to the as-is. And believe me, they were happy I was gone. Like, they can't even believe. They see me approaching with the flat cart, and they're just like, "Oh, seriously?" But I turn the corner, and I've got the thing. And I go, "All right, Karen, you got to help me take this off the flat cart because these assholes aren't going to do it. They don't want it back. It was as-is. They figured it was gone." So she goes, "All right." So it was on the flat cart. I go to pick it up, and she goes to lift it from the top. I lift it from the bottom. And then she tilts it to her right to get it off the cart, and all the drawers come like swooping out. I go, "Karen, no!" And the drawers come out, and I go, "No, honey, you got to tip it this way." And she's like, "Well, how did you get it on here?" I go, just it's okay." And so now it's a fucking Lucy show. I'm backing up, she's moving on, the drawers tumble out, she's holding it. Finally, thankfully, the patriarch of the Gonzalez family comes sprinting over. And he's like, "You want some help?" And I go, "Yes." So he takes Karen's end, and then we balance the drawers, and we lift it up, and then we go to put it down, and then the patriarch of the Gonzalez family promptly tips the dresser to the right, and the drawers come out of the dresser. Dude, didn't you just see what happened? I could have done this shit with her. Tips it over, because she at least caught the drawer. He lets them, boom, 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 they bang on the floor. Now this thing is truly as is. We put it down, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm so sorry." I go, "I don't give a shit. I ain't buying it." So we go to jam the drawers back in, and they're like misaligned, and we're like cramming them into, it's like, triangle into a circle hole. And now it's all crooked, and the fucking drawer doesn't close fully, and we just put the flat cart to the side. And I look at Karen, and I go, "All right, let's get the fuck out of here." And we walk out, and Karen stops for a chocolate hazelnut Rumpf bar and waits in line for that. And as we're getting to the front of the line, she looks at, because it's a little food part. Guess who the cashier is? Michelle with the big tits. And my wife, again, we walk to the front, and Karen goes, "Hey." She goes, it's Michelle. And Michelle looks at us like she has no idea who we are. And I go, we had you upstairs in Meatballville. And she goes, "Oh, the sneeze guy." And I go, "Yeah." So Karen's buying a chocolate hazelnut Funk bar, and then they had the smell of cinnamon, and then they had a pile of cinnamon rolls like in a foil thing, and Karen puts her hand on them. She goes, "Are these cinnamon rolls like fresh out of the oven?" Because that's my wife. What do you need fucking cinnamon rolls for? We had fake meatballs. We almost bought a dresser. We brought the fucking house down. Now you're buying a chocolate hazelnut bar you don't need. It's a complete impulse buy because it was yellow, and you saw it, and you're buying it. But she insists on asking if the cinnamon rolls, "Are these fresh out of the oven?" And the woman goes, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, were they fresh out of the oven?" And she goes, "They came out of the oven today." And the like sidekick next to her goes, ah! He laughs. And Karen goes, well, no, I'm just wondering if there are any fresh cinnamon rolls. And I go, Karen, those cinnamon rolls are as is. Let's get the fuck out of here. Paid for a chocolate bar and we fucking left. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook, Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You guys can follow me at Twitter, Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can find our friend Lily Von Stupp on Twitter as well, Twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, or Twitter.com/MNTs for all sorts of information. And if you want to write Lily a personal note, if you want to write her a special congratulatory note for any of her burlesque successes or anything else that she might have going on, go ahead and write her a note at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Zazzle.com/40-year-old boy. Please buy all his stuff.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 clubs at Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock p.m. every Monday night. I have the producer here that I'd like to have a word with, Lily Von Stupp. Hello, Lily.
Hello, Michael.
You are the producer of said show. You are the producer of the Monday Night Teas, the longest-running, most successful burlesque show in Los Angeles.
Oh, thank you.
Sure, certainly, of course.
That.
Why not? And as far as I'm concerned, so who's going to be there this week? Is it a theme show?
It is.
Oh my God, what is it?
Well, it's our back-to-school show. It's Teenage Angst.
Wow, teenage angst, back to school. A lot of schoolgirls, a lot of hot little.
Schoolgirls, and I'm hosting dressed as Carrie.
Oh, Carrie with
Covered
the.
in blood.
You'll be in the blood?
Yes.
No,
The
really?
whole show in my prom dress, covered in blood.
Oh, Jesus.
Because that was a tough night for her.
Yeah, it was. She certainly didn't see it coming. I can tell you that.
No.
Well, all right. So you'll be dressed as Carrie, covered in blood, all night long. That again, that is always seems like a good idea until you do it.
No, I did it last year, and it went over really well. People thought it was very hot. Boobs and blood. People like.
Yes, but I'm talking about you in comfort. Like I told you when I dressed as the thing I told the Little Caesar story at Halloween when I dressed like a chick, and then I was there 12 hours in fucking slippers and a house coat. Terrible. All right. Well, good for you. Who's and is there something special? Is there?
Holly Rocket is smoking in the boys' room.
Holly Rocket will be there.
Let's see, who else? Red Snapper's parents forgot about her 16th birthday.
No, that seems tragic.
16 Candles is one of my favorite films. Oh my God, and she does it so well.
Games, Jake.
We got Freaky Friday going on.
Silly torturous games.
What else do we have? I can't remember all of them.
That's great, but it's a
bunch
ton of
very
dancers,
hot.
and you're hosting,
Lots of plaid skirts, lots of sexy, yeah.
and you'll be covered in blood, and you'll do the aristocrats, I'm
yes.
sure, because that's your deal. Whenever you host, you like to do the aristocrats.
I'll be doing them all.
Oh, nicely done. And the guy's covered in blood walking out of there. Fantastic. Well, good. So that's the Monday Night Teas again every Monday night at Santa Monica and Vine, 10 o'clock at the 3 clubs. Go ahead and check it out this week again, the Monday Night Teas. And do you have other dancing shows that you're doing coming up? No, yes?
I'm not booked in anybody else's show right now.
Okay.
Tarantino really stressed my knee out.
Oh, okay. You're still getting the knee checked out. And how about Burlesque 411 podcast? Is that happening?
We're supposed to be recording a couple new ones this weekend.
All right. When you go to Burlesque 411, you'll see there's a podcast listing. Eventually, Lily will be recording more of
Yes.
those. And so go ahead and subscribe to the Burlesque 411 podcast. Want to let you folks know that, this is going to be, brace yourselves, folks. There's plugs. First of all, Lily, our friend, did an interview. We talked to her here, but we don't really get to hear in depth from Lily. We hear from her, and she's doing a job and helping us out, which is fine. But folks, Lily, a listener of this show, a listener named Jerome, good guy, went ahead and interviewed Lily on the Let's Talk About Sex portion, or I guess that's the name of the blog. Okay, so it's for Let's Talk About Sex. It's at ltasex.info, ltasex.info. Our friend Jerome interviewed Lily, and that comes out when?
September 13th.
Which is a Monday.
Monday.
So also
Monday,
this coming Monday.
Monday.
Or no, September 13th. So that's this coming Monday. So guys, keep visiting ltasex.info for our friend Jerome, because again, he's got a ton of posts regarding sex, and it's a sex-oriented blog that you should visit anyway. But Monday, there will be an interview with our friend Lily Von Stupp, and you can go ahead and read it. Because I don't let her talk. We all know that. She talks for 5 seconds here and fake laughs her way through it. And but if you really want to hear in-depth stuff from her, go check out Jerome's interview with Lily at ltasex.info, Monday, September 13th. Also remember burlesquebears.com because we've got October's coming up, Halloween. That's big. You can get a Halloween burlesque bear. Do you do a theme for Halloween? Scary?
I will do custom ones if they want them.
Anybody who needs a custom burlesque bear can go ahead and request that. Let Lily know again at Lily at burlesque411.com, Lili at burlesque411.com. There are many that are on there already. You may see them and fall in love with those, or you could have a custom one that you wanted to go ahead and get at burlesquebears.com. Go ahead and check it out. Remember, the Westside 86 Jokers is the fan club. Started with our friend Adam, and then, of course, Hannah and Leanna and Casey and everybody else who's over there helping us out at Westside 86 Jokers on Facebook. That's the Mike Schmidt fan page, fan club. Waste of time. I don't know what you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it is fine. But it's one of those things. I'm very distracted right now because Lily is taking her shirt off. I don't know why. And okay, well, literally Lily had a flannel on all day and looked cute in her little flannel and pants, and now she has nothing on. She has a tank top on. That's it, with her boobs saying, you're covered, but not really. All right. Wow, there you go. Covered. There, good idea. Because now you look like Michelle at yeah. Go ahead and sneeze into the tank top. Thanks. I like it. So Westside 86 Jokers, go ahead and join the Mike Schmidt fan page. Why wouldn't you do that? And also on Facebook, I should tell you there are two more people who've decided to do this. Folks, there is now a Bring Mike Schmidt to Portland page. Bring Mike Schmidt to Portland, Oregon. Our friend Chris Rosewood, I don't want to be that guy, but it might be Roswad? Because I shouldn't be using his last name probably, but Chris, listener to the show, has started a Bring Mike Schmidt to Portland page, and another listener has brought a Bring Mike Schmidt to Phoenix page.
Awesome.
So if you guys are in Phoenix or in Portland or close, or you want me to come there, go ahead and sign up on those pages and brainstorm with them. They're looking for venues. They're trying to figure. And if you have a venue in Portland, you have a venue in Phoenix, or you think somewhere that would be perfect for me to go to, go ahead and let them know, because again, they're having a big discussion on the Portland page. I don't even know if the Phoenix page is really kicked off yet, because I'm way behind, as I've mentioned, folks. In the next 3 days, I will be all caught up in emails. I will be all caught up on Facebook. I swear that will happen. You can fake your. No, I really was. I was doing a great job. Ask people, because there are people who I would write, and then they would write me back, and I would write them the next day, and they'd go, "Oh my God, you wrote me back this fast?" Because I was staying caught up. But then San Francisco interfered because I was, in my head about the one man, and then had to go out of town for 4 days, and then that was it. The avalanche came, and people were very nice and responded. So I will get to that, But just know that there's a Bring Mike Schmidt to Portland and a Bring Mike Schmidt to Phoenix page on Facebook. You can find those, and I'll try to put the links on my page as well, along with the link to the Westside 86 Jokers. And also, I want to thank Christine Taylor, who went ahead and she reviewed the one man. We talked about that. Well, she did an interview with me, and now she's published it. It's up at ChristineETaylor.com. Go to ChristineETaylor.com. If you didn't see the review of the one man, you can go check that out, but also read the interview that I did with her the afternoon before she came and suffered through the one man. So go ahead and check out my review at Christine E. Taylor and see all of her reviews. She interviewed Mark Maron and our friend Jimmy Pardo, and reviewed, she interviewed Pat Francis. I think Matt Belknap, maybe all the people from Never Not Funny and What the Fuck, WTF, I should say. So go ahead and check out all of her interviews there at Christine A. Taylor, and be her friend on Facebook. Find out when she's doing other journalist stuff, because she was a friend of me and a friend of the show and was very kind to me in the interview and in the review. So go to ChristineETaylor.com. Remember our friend Rob Matsushita.com at ClaymorePictures.net. Remember his website, like I said, ClaymorePictures.net, and also remember he has the Chapel web series that you can go and check out, and also he's got the Wasted Youth film coming out with his part of it called The Girls. So go to ClaymorePictures.net for any and all information about Rob Matsushita. If you need a personal trainer, folks, Sean Richardson's your guy. Go to RealWorldFit.com, and you can follow him at Twitter.com/RealWorldFit.com. I have been working out. I have not posted on Rocky with a blog, and I will. That will, again, in the next 3 days. I'm going to be caught up on everything, folks. You will be marveling at it. You'll be stunned by it. And I know you're probably thinking, stop talking now so you can go ahead and get caught up on it, which is true. Remember, the Zazzle store still exists. Go ahead and get a shirt or a mouse pad or anything over there. The Stripple shirt's available. Remember the Year 1 and Year 2 or the Super Guy Jean combo set. Those are available through MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Go to the Joe Business page. And also, folks, remember I told you about this last week. I'm going to tell you about it again. This will also be on my Facebook page, but I will tell you this now because it's coming up this weekend. Our friend Heidi, who listens to the show, is doing a benefit for comedian Hank McGill, and the benefit is going to be at Crackers Comedy Club in Broad Ripple. It's 8 o'clock Friday, September 10th. Our friend Jimmy Pardo is hosting there. Tickets are $15 and $20. There's also a silent auction. You can bid on stuff, and the money will go to help out comedian Hank McGill, who is suffering from esophageal cancer. And I worked with Hank again. He was a very good guy, really nice guy, and then this is a guy who needs our help. So let's go ahead and do what we can to. You can find the Facebook page, and if you want to even just send a check, if you can't attend the show, that's great. But if you can, if you're in the area, go to the Crackers Comedy Club in Broad Ripple in Indiana, and Friday, September 10th, 8 o'clock, watch Jimmy Pardo, Bob and Tom favorite, Mike and Lily favorite, Matt and Elliot favorite, because Elliot's his video guy, right? Is that who it is? I don't remember. So he's there. He's everybody's favorite. Go see Jimmy Pardo, do the show, and let's and get a great show while you're helping out a great guy. So go ahead and check that out. That'd be perfect. And also, if by the way, I wanted to tell you this: if you are running out of money, folks, you can always get a job at a brothel in Las Vegas. They are hiring constantly. I bring that up because there was an article in the LA Weekly this week. Did you see that on the front page? It was about how women are turning to the brothels for employment, and they are finding it as a way to make some cash because the recession is so tough. These women have decided to go ahead and rent out their boxes, which is fine. Good for you. If you're comfortable with that, I'm fine. And they interviewed, they had a woman named Chelsea, who was a little redhead, who I thought was pretty hot. And then a woman named Sierra, a little 20-year-old blonde girl. And it's funny, they had all their backstories. Like Sierra is supporting her boyfriend who has lymphoma and her mom. And Chelsea is supporting her husband and family. I don't know. They're all doing what they can to support whoever they can. And then there was Nikki, who was a woman who used to work in an office job, but she was just starting there at the brothel and was excited to do so. And she's taking care of her kids and making some money. And this was weird. She's a black girl, Nikki. And they were saying it might be tough for her because they said the black girls don't make a lot of money at the brothels because they said that when white guys come, they generally don't choose the black girls. They choose a white girl or an Asian girl. That's their deal. Yeah, exactly. That seems crazy to me. Like, if you go to the brothel, that's the time to go crazy, dude. I mean, like,
Yes, go crazy.
you got to order off the menu at that point, don't you? I mean, you've spent your whole life hitting on white girls and getting shot down in bars. When you go, it's like if you went to Baskin-Robbins and ordered vanilla. You don't want fucking vanilla. You want to go ahead and get goddamn chocolate peanut butter crunch. That's Nikki. Get Nikki into the sack. And it said Asians, which I completely understand because every guy's got the Asian thing happening. And they're like, yeah, they do. You know why? Because they just think, because the myth. Because they all like, oh, Asians are like, tittering into their hand and being very shy. I can tell them what the fuck to do. Awesome. But, trust me, at a brothel, you're not in control, dude. You might have the money, but you're not controlling anything. But they were saying Nikki, in the 2 weeks that she was there, she hustled her way up into being one of the top earners just in those 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, good for her, because especially apparently the racist bias against black women. Because if you're a white guy, I can't stress enough, dude. It's like if you went to McDonald's and all of a sudden McDonald's had sushi, wouldn't you just have to try the sushi once? You know what I mean? Because you're normally getting Big Macs your whole life, and then you walk in once they got sushi, you're like, fuck, I got to try the sushi. You're out and about. You're crazy. You're wild. Nobody's ever going to know about this again. Go ahead and fucking tag the black girl. Do it. I'm serious. Make your move. So they talk about Nikki, and then she, at the end of the story, there's like almost like the redemptive epilogue, and she's like, oh, after 2 weeks, she made a lot of money, and her 2 week stretch was ending. She's like, I can't wait to come back. She goes, you know what? I went ahead and because again, all these people are poor and they're down on their luck, and they're trying to do the best they can to dig out from under. And they talk to Nikki. She's like, it was great. I made so much money. She goes, I used to make $245 a week in the office. She goes, I make 3 times that in a day here. It's fantastic. You know what I did? I paid my bills, and I went ahead and I rented a house, and I already put $400 down for my son's 5th birthday party. What? Excuse me, Nikki. If you've left your office career behind to start sucking cock for a living, maybe you bank some of this cash and you don't hire a balloon fucking clown and a moon bounce for your 5-year-old. You know what the best present you can give your kid for his 5th birthday party is? You without your ass up in the air and a white businessman going, ride 'em, cowboy! Fuck me. Buy a business suit and go on an interview. You know what? You had a 2-week exotic attempt and you made a lot of cash. That's great. Pay some bills and bank some cash so you don't have to be hustling for money while fucking white guys in sunglasses change their name to try and get a little exotic strange. I mean, seriously. That's what $400 for the birthday party? What did you do? Hire yourself to blow guys? You have to be fucking kidding me. I just thought of that. Man, the best present you can give your kid is to stand down from your new life as a whore, okay? Jesus Christ. Get a pen and a new briefcase and go fill out some job applications. You had your 2-week fun. Take the cash and make something of yourself, for God's sakes. Jesus Christ. Although, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. That had to be the most fun moon bounce in the history of children's birthday parties. I mean, come on. You walk in, and on either end of the doorway is just an ankle. And you just hop in and boing, boing, boing your way through that whole fucking bash. God damn it, that's awesome. You know what? Fuck it. I come around on Nikki and her $400 birthday party for her kid. Good plan, Nikki. You know what? Go do 2 more weeks there. You know what? Make it an $800 birthday party, for Christ's sake. It's your kid. Come on, you can do that. He deserves a lot more than that. For God's sake, he needs to have the best birthday party in the history of 5-year-olds. I don't even. Why do I spit out this random bullshit that nobody fucking cares about? I am peddling obscenity. I am gonna get a whole fucking army of you people, and you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna listen to me and then do nothing for an entire fucking week. I can't be trusted. Don't you people know this? It was like the Back to the Future of suck. I don't want to have a boner in somebody else's pants. I need to shoot up heroin and jog. Hey, ass fuck, are you listening to anything that I'm saying to you? Fuck, somebody's gotta shut that old guy up. And I'm like, fuck you! I'm not a potato! I'm a goddamn cantaloupe! Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.